About 40 years ago, my parents dug up this Mountain Spring Brewery bottle from a dump. And, it made me want to go see what, if anything, might remain of this long-lost New Hampshire brewery. Welcome to the Cold River near the Route 12 and Route 123 intersections in Walpole. It was across this river, the trains, they delivered supplies to and from what was the Fall Mountain Lager Brewery, then later became the Mountain Spring Brewery.
I'm here along the Cold River in Walpole, New Hampshire. This is the river from which the old Mountain Spring Brewery drew its water to brew its beers in the late 1800s until about 1904 when they closed. They operated under several names for about 30 or 40 years before they finally closed. They just couldn't compete with the Frank Jones Brewery, plus a couple of fires to the brewery during the late 1800s really were difficult to recover from. They went through several name changes over the course of their existence. They finally closed in 1904.
Brewery Road is now all residential, but it probably was the old driveway that led up to the brewery. In 1877, it was the Fall Mountain Lager Brewery. They had this brown stout porter and a Pilsner lager. Then in 95 was a Mountain Spring Brewery. Then in 01, it was the Crescent Brewing Company, which became the Manila Brewing Company. By 04, there were signs of problems as roughly $2,000 in unpaid taxes were abated. Now, not a lot remains of the brewery. It's hidden over the side of a hill off Brewery Road. There are 3 stone foundations. If you look really closely, these stone foundations might be 10 feet or so high, and they're on private property. So because of that, I really couldn't just walk on people's property to take pictures. So I took them from the road, and it's obvious though there's something here. While watching this, you have to squint some to see the stone remains, because they're there behind the trees. There was an ice house across the street, and according to historical records, the refrigerator had 600 tons of ice with a capacity of 2,000 barrels. During the peak, though, they brewed about 15,000 barrels a year and went through 3,700 tons of ice. The water didn't come directly from the river, though. It came from a spring nearby, and the workers would cart it down from the hill. They went through 40,000 pounds of malt to brew their beer. And then the Boston Main Railroad extended its delivery right up to the door. Then they could load the beer and send it off around the state and elsewhere. Their headquarters were in Bellows Falls, Vermont, about 2 miles away over the Connecticut River. I expect that I've gotten a little closer, maybe come during early spring, late summer, early fall, I might have gotten some better pictures. You'll be seeing all this green stuff and all this grass. The brewery burned in 1882, then again in 1905. But a lot of people think the 1905 brewery fire was a deliberate fire. I spoke to the woman who owns the private residence, and if you look at the stone between these flowers, that's what she told me was the old block for the foundation for the old bottling shop, which was located here. These granite blocks that are hidden behind the trees are the border from where the bottle dump was. And residents say at night they can hear tinkling glass, because when the animals walk through there, it does that, but pretty picked over now. Now back to that bottle of mine. It was brewed probably 1895 to 1902 under the Mountain Spring name, clear bottle, which isn't so good now for beers, but that's how they did it then. I wonder now if the trade name is still available.